Good morning. Welcome to a early edition of the Cohn Phone. I'll be out here for the next hour. I'll be taking your calls. The link is in the description and the chat box. Before I take your calls, I want to address the 49ers directly. Maybe you guys feel the same way I do. I'm not a Niner fan, but I feel like I'm more invested. Maybe that's the wrong word. I'm more annoyed, frustrated with this offseason than most fans and most analysts. I feel like everyone has sort of bought into the 49ers story, or maybe it's the owner story. Jed, I'm talking to you. You decided this year that the 49ers your team needed to get younger and cheaper. I mean, I understand you and your parents spent a lot of money on some players who weren't really good the last few years, Javon Hargrave, Devondre Campbell. I understand the desire to want to get younger and cheaper, but this is not the year to do that, Jed. And you know that. I think you know that. I think John Lynch knows it. John, I think you know it. Kyle, I think you know it. The way it was portrayed to us, Jed and his parents made a decision that this was the year to take on the dead cap, to spend a little less on outside free agents, to get the books back in order. And John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan had no choice but to go along with this. That's how John said it. He was informed, and then he informed Kyle, who was really upset and had a tough time breathing until the draft when they actually got starting defensive linemen after releasing 3 starters on their D-line. So I guess I understand who made the decision and what their motivation was, but it was the wrong decision, and there's still time to course correct here. So, Jed, you could be the hero. I'm not here to admonish you. You could be the hero if you just convinced your parents to spend more. You have $46 million in salary cap space. What is the point of not using it? You have an aging core. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, those 3 in particular. They're not going to be better in 2026 than they are in 2025. Playing for 2026 when you have those 3 players on your team doesn't make sense. Trent is turning 37 in a few days. Christian just turned 29. George is going to be 32 in October. You have to treat every game that they give you preciously. So $46 million in cap space, aging core, and the easiest schedule in football, Jed? Did you know that your team was going to have the easiest schedule in the NFL when you decided that this was the year to get cheaper and younger? It seems like this is the best year to go all in. Finally, Brock Purdy. He's counting 2 point something percent against the salary cap this year. Next year, it'll be 8 something. The year after that, it'll be almost 10. So this is the last year that he'll be cheap. Take advantage. This is an opportunity. This is a golden opportunity. In addition, the NFC is wide open. The Eagles were great last year because Saquon Barkley had a Hall of Fame season, but now he's 28 and he's coming on. I mean, he had 480 something touches last year and he's on the Madden cover. You really think he's doing that again? I don't. If he goes down, they fall back to earth. I mean, who's the team to beat in the NFC? The Commanders? They barely beat the Cowboys in week 18 last year. Like, they won a bunch of close games last year. The Niners lost a bunch of close games last year. If they went out and made a big move with this $46 million in cap space, all of a sudden they could be winning those close games. Like, why not go trade for Jalen Ramsey? I'm not saying if they get Jalen Ramsey alone, they win the Super Bowl, but it improves their odds. If they don't get Jalen Ramsey and he goes to the Rams, it hurts the Niners' odds of winning the Super Bowl. And I think this is the year to be concerned about the odds. You don't know what George Kittle's going to be in 2026. He could be washed. McCaffrey could be washed right now. So strike while the iron's hot. Spend your money. I mean, what is the reason not to spend cap space you have? To roll it over for 2026 so that the next year's team is better? Screw the next year's team. Because it really feels like the only reason they're not spending this money is because the real reason they decided to go younger and cheaper this year on the team is because this year happens to coincide with a big investment in soccer. They bought a team in Scotland. Their British team got promoted to the Premier League, and now they have to spend a lot of money on players to transfer to their team so they don't get relegated again in a year like most teams do. So it's clearly not a year to get younger and cheaper on Leeds United. and you may not know anything about soccer. I don't really know, but now I feel like I have to cover soccer because it's part of covering the 49ers. They're not getting younger and cheaper on Leeds United. It's a very important year for them to spend, and invest. But on the Niners, this is a year for Kyle Shanahan to dig deep and make it work with rookies, and Robert Saleh too, and John Lynch. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's smart. Maybe if the Niners had a really tough schedule and Brock Purdy was, if they'd front loaded the contract and they're like, well, look, we sort of saw this coming. So Brock Purdy's cap number is $80 million, but it gets way cheaper down the line. So we're going to play for 2026, and we got rid of Kittle and we got rid of Trent Williams, and we have a whole new young team and we're planning for the future. Then fine. I totally understand that. But you held on to Juszczyk. He's 34. You held on to all these old players. You backloaded Brock Purdy's contract. What did you create this cap space for? To not use it? That doesn't make any sense, especially when you have the easiest schedule and you're hosting the Super Bowl. Like, don't you want to win it? Don't you want to be the one hoist? That's a word you only use football. Hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at home. You want that to be Sean McVay? You want that to be Nick Sirianni or Andy Reid? Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now. You could go trade for Jalen Ramsey right now and sign Justin Simmons. Probably get an offensive lineman too. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Jed, I know you want to do it deep down. I bet John Lynch wants to do this. I bet Robert Saleh would love to coach Jalen Ramsey again. He coached him already in Jacksonville. He was on the team that drafted Jalen Ramsey. I'm sure he'd love to coach him again. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan would like another really good player in his prime. Jed, it's on you. Denise, John, it's on you. John York, what are you waiting for? We love the commitment to, investing in European soccer, but what about American football? Because no one actually cares about Leeds United. I couldn't name one player on that team, nor should I have to. And they're probably not even going to be in the Premier League next year anyway, so let's be honest. So before I take some calls, I just want to shout out Into Cloud. Hold on, I got to put my logo on the screen because it's important. Boom. Yeah. So something you don't know about me, I kind of have anxiety. Like, I don't sleep so good ever since I got this job because I feel like every time it's 5:30 in the morning, I wake up looking at my phone to see if there's been news. Because I feel like being a sports writer, you're kind of on like East Coast time, because the news cycle starts with them. So I have a tough time sleeping in, and I'm trying to get myself to sleep in as much as possible in these next 30 days before training camp starts and I become fully neurotic. But I'm like programmed to wake up at 5:30. Not anymore. In the cloud, this stuff has just 5 milligrams of THC, but it also has like melatonin, 3 milligrams of that. And it tastes like elderberries, which I've never had. And I swear I've been sleeping until 7:30. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I haven't slept like this since I was 19 years old. It feels great. Needed to tell you about it. Sponsoring the show and has really improved my quality of life. So if you're 21 or older, now's your chance to float above the stress, because IndaCloud has given all new customers 25% off their first order plus free shipping. Just use code COHN or click the link in the show notes to claim your discount. That's indacloud.co, INDACLOUD.co. Use code COHN for free shipping plus 25% off your first order. And when you order, fill out that quick little survey. It helps the show and keeps IndaCloud sending you the good stuff. So go ahead, tell future you've got it covered, then grab a gummy and vibe out with IndaCloud, or just go to sleep like I do. That's what I do. All right, man. Seth and then T Bizzle. What's up, Seth?
Yo, what up, Grant? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. The whole all-in thing, bro, I think, I mean, maybe give me your opinion on this. I didn't catch the beginning, but Jair would have been it for me, right? Jair Alexander. I think, to me, Jalen Ramsey doesn't necessarily move the needle like Jair does, but they didn't go there. So at this point, we could have spent a ton of money in the beginning of free agency. We saw how that turned out. We didn't, of course. So, I mean, I think we got to stand pat, dude. Unless you tell me I'm missing some. Is there a guy out there that you would, like to go for, like the Niners to add? I mean, you tell me.
I mean, Jalen Ramsey's, he's 31. He played 17 games last year. I mean, I think he's not what he was 4 years ago, clearly, but he's better than Trey Brown. He's better than Renardo Green. And I think him, Green, and Lenore would give you one hell of a trio.
So that's
Or you
where
could
I'll
play him
kick.
at safety. Either way.
Well, that's where I was going to kick back. I'll
Yeah.
be honest. In this stage of his career, I don't think he's better than Ronaldo Green. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, dude, but I mean, he does have a good track record. I just remember Brock Purdy burning that fool, bro, when he was with the Rams. So that just to me,
Maybe
like,
that's why Niner fans are against it. I don't
yeah,
think Niner fans like him in general.
yeah, bro. Like, I have massive flashbacks. I don't know why, and it's not that you don't like him. It just seems he didn't really age very well, and I don't know, bro. That's my
But I
personal
mean, like,
opinion.
he's not the only option. They could go sign Justin Simmons. I mean, there are other veterans. Like, you could go get Amari Cooper.
It's
When they
just
talk about like, hey, we're going to take some lumps this year, it's like, okay,
yeah.
well, where are these perceived weaknesses, and why don't you want to address them with this $46 million in cap space?
The only thing I'll tell you is, I don't think any of those guys necessarily move any needle for me, if that makes sense. Like, maybe Jeffrey Simmons, to your point, a little bit, but we invested so much in that defensive line room, during the draft. I just think he'd be taking away valuable snaps from a guy that probably won't be here next year. I mean, maybe he'll help, dude. I don't know, bro. To me, there's just nobody that completely just from 0 to even 6 to me. So that's where it's like, oh, bro, it's hard. I totally get it. We should be all in on this Brock Purdy deal, bro. Like me and you talked about. I mean,
Let's go back though. The fact that they got $46 million and they let
yeah,
a lot of these free agents go, like, did they need to? I mean,
no,
Aaron Banks isn't great, and he may not be worth the money, but he was one of your starting offensive linemen, and he's gone, and you have all this cap space. Like, why?
Here's the thing that irritates me the most. Knowing how well Parag could have worked that cap, the whole cap, figure with the cap, with how much of a guru you and I talked about last time I was on the Cohn phone with you, which is ridiculous, by the way. We should have never let any of those guys go, bro. Maybe a couple, because that's just a turnover of football, but not Aaron Banks. Our line is already trash. We let a top 5 guard go in the game. Like, what are we doing? So that's where I'm more frustrated. Okay. You know what I mean?
And so it's kind of hard to fix it now.
Yeah, like there's nothing we can do. But knowing how this whole you can't tell me, Grant, at the beginning stages of this Brock Purdy negotiation, that it wasn't heading towards that path, and how we couldn't have saved some of these guys. That's the thing, dude. Like, at the beginning, if Prague would have came to the Niners and said, hey, this is going down a real bad path, we're going to have to pay this guy and front load it, which they did. But, with the cap percentage and all that, okay, then maybe the Orcs would be understanding of this is what we had to do. But, bro, it's never been like that with Prague.
It's not like that.
That's the most
when they got rid of Banks and Malik Collins and Leonard Floyd and Javon Hargrave, they were like, well, we got to make, you understand, right? We got to make room for Brock Purdy's contract. And then we see the deal. It's like, it's super backloaded. There's all this cap room. I don't really understand why you got rid of all those players and just replace them with rookies. It's great to get rookies on the field, but like at the expense of potentially these 3 players prime, that's kind of scary.
And let me ask you this too. And I just feel like the Yorks think this way. I don't know about Kyle. I don't think solid, but what about the strength of the schedule? You don't think that had something to do with their decision making? I find it hard to believe, but maybe they're like, look, the schedule isn't going to be very good. We don't, you know what I mean, dude? And we're always on the
because like we would think the other way, like the schedule isn't good. This is the opportunity.
Not.
But they're like, no. This is a great time to take our foot off the gas. No,
absolutely, yeah. Robert Saul's all gas, no brakes, and
right.
York's like, no gas, all brake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro. I just in the free agent class in general this year wasn't very strong. Your Aaron Bankses of the world, things like that. But unless I'm missing something and you tell me, I don't think a lot of players got a ton of big time money. But I mean, Aaron Banks did. But like last year, we had these high premier names out there, Saquon. And so I just think this year was just time to cost effective, cut it. And maybe next year is when they, like you said, they're saving all this cap space, everything else to go for the big fish, whatever fish that may be. Because to me this year, there was nobody out there that really moved the needle for me, if that makes sense.
I just don't understand what the point is of holding on to Kittle, McCaffrey, and Trent if you're not going to really go for it. It's like, why are they here?
So I'll tell you this, bro. As much as I talked about Kittle's a national treasure, I would have let him go. And that's my boy, right? Fred Warner.
What's your timeline?
Bro, and not only that, but we gave Fred Warner another $60 million, bro. Like, what are we doing? He's only slowing down, Grant. That's one
mean,
thing with the Niners that I don't understand, and I'll continue to never understand, is we pay all these guys for what they did 3 years ago.
always,
And always, bro.
always.
Like Brock Purdy, I felt like he was forced in the corner to, if it makes sense, to have to get paid. Like he had served his time. He had played really well. It was his time to get paid. But it only makes me wonder if Brock Purdy would have played. If he plays this well for the next 5 years, bro, we're giving him 500 million, dude. Like that's
Ugh,
just it. That's what we do. Like no, seriously. Like so,
yeah,
I don't. That's one thing where I feel like our organization, the Niners organization, is a little half-ass backwards. Is they do that stuff, bro. Most good to great organizations that continue to win Super Bowls move on from these players after a certain time. It
yeah.
seems like we want to go back and pay them for their past premise, their past deals. So I don't know, bro. It's a little funky to me. Don't get me wrong, they're the pillars of the organization. But 60 million? What are we like? I mean, it's not our money,
You
but
make
I
a
don't
good point, Seth.
understand it, dude.
You make a good point. I
You
got
know
to
what
take
I'm
more
saying?
calls.
But
You
hey,
killed it though, man.
Grant, it
Thank
was
you for
good to see
calling
you,
in.
my man. Hey, you have a good day, my dude. Have a good day.
Yeah,
Later,
you
bro.
always kill it, man. Good stuff, Seth.